There it goes. All right. Well, hey, everybody. This is a late version of Astronomy Daily Live, and we're here. Actually, this is a late version of stop that Astronomy Daily Live, and we're here. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Someday I'm going to remember to turn that off before I start. Yeah, that's just awful. All right. Well, so hey everybody, this is, as I said, a late version of Astronomy Daily Live. It's 2:47 UTC. So this live stream is officially 47 minutes late. I usually get started around 2 hours UTC, but today, due to special circumstances, that was delayed. I figured that it wouldn't have gone any longer than about an hour or so, but they started a little bit late. I think they started maybe about 10 minutes late or so. Bobby, is that about right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And how's everybody doing?
Hey, Bobby. So yeah, they started a little bit late, maybe 10 minutes late or so. So that was an hour and a half presentation, more or less. So that was really long. It was very detailed, and yeah, got some interesting insight into the thinking behind this BFR device, this big effing rocket. Yeah, that they have announced that they are going to be taking passengers. One person is sort of footing a little bit of, most of, all of the bill, and he is taking along with him as sort of guests, right? There were conflicting numbers there, right? The largest number I heard was a dozen. So him and up to maybe like 11 other people are going to go on this cruise, right? On this voyage to the moon and back, right? So they'll go out to the moon, they'll circle around it, and then they'll come back like that. So, really, really easy. Apollo 8, 9, and 10 did exactly that. So it's not as if this is, new. So, yeah, it's just, we haven't done it in 40 years. So, I think we've gotten a little bit rusty. But, yeah, he is bringing it back, and he's bringing it back big, right? I mean, it's not like this little capsule with a couple of people in it, right? This is a space liner that can fit up to 100 people. So, that's a lot of room. That's a heck of a lot of room. And, go up to the moon, circle around it, come back. That's absolutely great. And yeah, I mean, if it was me, right, given that kind of opportunity, yeah, I'd have to think hard about that, because I think maybe not. I don't see any necessity in being first or second or 10th or 1,000th or millionth, right? It doesn't particularly matter, but probably after the first or second one, I would really start looking hard at, okay, how do I, make this happen? So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's a pretty good, exciting news coming out of SpaceX. Um, I should check the chat here. I haven't. It's probably a lot. Oh yeah, there's quite a bit. Sorry about that. So Andy is here. Atta, Crystal, uh, Uncle Bill. Thanks for coming in. Tom. Yeah. I got to start saving my nickels now. Right. Almost. Right. They got to fly. They got to fly a couple of people, and then it's like,
Yeah, but 5 billion. I think I'm gonna give it a miss.
Yeah, well, that's for development costs, and a lot of those things. There's always going to be development, but there is never going to be sort of the first one. There's always going to be a first one, and then there will be improvements made. Hopefully.
So, like, how much really are we going to be looking at if you want to go to the moon?
Well, Elon Musk wants to reduce the bill that a passenger would pay to something under definitely under. Yeah, I think he's talking about something like under $100 a pound. So still not like really, really cheap, but $100 a pound, if you do the math, it's sort of like buying a car, right? I mean, these days, it's sort of on that scale, right? And people are buying cars all the time.
So $100 a pound?
$100 a pound, I think, is what he right now. It costs about $10,000 a pound. So, and he says that he can reduce that by a factor of 100. So that would bring it down to $100 a pound. So I'm just using his numbers. So so $100 a pound is not entirely unreasonable, right? And maybe it could even be less, right? Don't know, but would I try to find a way to save up, 25 to 30, maybe 40K for a 5 or 7 day cruise to the moon and back? Yeah, I probably would.
So I must have weighed about 210. If it's $100 a pound, that my cost is going to be about 21,000.
21,000, exactly. So yeah. I mean, as I said, that's still a chunk, right? That's a chunk, but it's not like outrageous, right? I mean, if that was 21 million, then it'd be like not a chance. Even 210,000 is sort of like, that's a hard one, right? But when it gets to 20,000, that's sounding really, really interesting, right? Like possible. So
yeah, 20,000 is not that very bad if you got good credit and stuff that you can actually get money from the loan companies and stuff. And then you can just go to the moon at your own desire, and then you just pay them back inch by inch.
That's it. Or, save up for it. A lot of people have, those kinds of funds, just sitting around. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. So yeah, there was a little bit of
That's usually like house buying money right there, or car buying money.
Yeah. I mean, it's like buying a moderately expensive car, right? I mean,
like a Mercedes Benz.
Well, what kind of car can you get, for 25K? these days. I mean, you can't get a top of the line, but you can't. I mean, you with 25K, you can get a pretty good car, right? So it's like, okay, do I need a new car, or do I want to go to the moon and back? It's like it's a no-brainer, right? Almost a no-brainer. So yeah, yeah.
I want
Oh,
to start by getting me like a little nice and decent house first before in a car before I do like 80 cruises to the moon.
well, you never know, right? But yeah, as I said, there
NASA
was
wants a senior discount.
yeah, yeah. I so yeah, I noticed in the chat that there was a little bit of a discussion about the fact that only the rich folks can do this, right? And yeah, that's absolutely true. But I guess I mean how things are, right? How things are is that you can pretty much get anything you want if you put up enough money, right? So that's how it is. Now, is that how it should be? Oh, probably not. Because we humans are messed up, right? So we don't really know what we're doing or anything. So, but this is the system that we have, and I guess the way that I look at it is that somebody has to be first, and how do we choose, right? Well, this sort of makes it a little bit easy, right? So and in fact, Elon said a couple of times that he chose them, right? So yeah, yeah, really really interesting. The surprise for me was definitely this idea of him inviting. He said like what 7 to 9 artists and take this trip with him as his guest, right? So they don't have to pay anything, right? It's like, wait, how do I get a hold of them? So see, there are ways. There are ways. If yeah, and I'm well, there's absolutely no chance that I would get chosen in that kind of thing. But I might apply anyway, just to say that I did. So yeah, yeah, very very cool. Cheers to interesting plans. And as I said, Elon said a dozen could go. So that's 11 slots. So it could actually be more than just sort of artists, right? I mean, you could throw like a couple of scientists up there that sort of have an artistic lean of some sort.
Yeah, I wish there was like Crystal Jim said, it would be nice to nominate his guests and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to see how that process goes. You know, I was actually pretty inspired by his speech there that he gave. It was really really funny how he apologized at least 3 times for his bad English, right? And it's like, dude, you did you did really really well if you think that was bad. So yeah, yeah, no, I mean he spoke very very well. That was probably rehearsed, I would think.
Uncle Bill during our Gather MC is sending out invites, not taking applications.
Yeah, I think he was asked about that, right? And um, I he said something like he wishes that he could just choose the ones or something like that, right? Um, so yeah, we'll just have to observe and see how this goes.
Oh
Because
yeah. Also, a lot of MC's English is better than her Japanese.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I know one language, and not very well at that either. So yeah, my hat's off to anybody that that can do any other spoken language, because those kinds of things just absolutely baffle me. Just absolutely baffle. So the only way that I'm going to learn a new language is if I like move to a country, right, and live there for like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, right? Just completely get into it, and then I would learn the language for sure, for sure. But sitting in a class, trying to memorize you know, all the various, uh, you know, verbs and all of that, right? It's like, crazy, crazy. So yeah, yeah, no, his English was extremely, extremely great. Um, Trying to think of other things. I think I'm gonna make this a short live stream tonight. Um, just because I've been sitting here now for like 2 hours. It's like I got to get up soon. So yeah, I got to do some stretches. So so Andy thinks that it
Any
should be a crew of
any college, I guess it'd be a crew of 20.
20. Okay. Yeah, as I said, the biggest number that I heard was 12. He said a dozen. Oh, and the other interesting surprise is that Elon kept open the possibility of him actually being one of the passengers. So the the guy that's going, MZ, um, can invite anybody he wants, I guess. Right? I'm not exactly sure how that's going to go down, but yeah. So yeah, he definitely kept that door open. Um, it looks like, hopefully they have sort of a little bit of finality when it comes to the design, because you know he he mentioned this, right, that there are many ways to solve this problem, and so they're having to, I mean, they, they have to consider many possible designs and then run through them all and do the analysis and do the modeling and all of this stuff, right? And it's just massive amount of work, massive, massive. So, you know, um, because what they have to do is they have to, model a bunch of different kinds, right? They they might be able to narrow it down through, just thinking about it. They might be able to narrow it down to, maybe three or four that are really close, right? Like really, really close.
Uncle Bill Durham, I gather it'll be a small payload PLCs to allow the low G flight profile that was discussed near the end.
Yeah, I don't remember that part. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. He didn't really, he was asked about the inside, and he basically, right, just said that is still being designed. So yeah, we really don't know yet exactly what's going on with the inside. Um, if they're going to have a lot of room to move around. I mean, I would think so, right? I would think that they would want to do that. So yeah, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna.
More payload means more aggressive flight profile.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously they probably want to go as light as they possibly can. Um, but I mean, nobody's going to really sleep for those days, right? Um, maybe they will. Maybe that's an interesting uh, artifact of being out in space. Is that it's very comfortable out there. So
Elon
uh,
said that this trip can afford to be easy on the passengers.
yeah, yeah, and it, it definitely it definitely does. He was actually asked about the G forces, right? And he says that don't really want to go over 5, but what they're looking at right now is nothing more than about 3 Gs. So 3 Gs is pretty harsh. That's pretty harsh. I Yeah, I don't know if I would like that very much or not. Um,
Um,
so yeah,
Hey,
that's
Bob Darman, but point in these are estimates and he's flexible.
oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean and he actually explained that too. It's like you know somebody was giving him grief about dates, right? It's like, okay, all this is supposed to happen in 2023, and so somebody asked, it's like, well, you've been wrong about every other date that you set. So, you know, why is why do you continue to do that? And Elon's exactly right. It's like, well, you have to set a date, right? You have to have a going pad, right? So that allows for a timeline to be created, right? And so what they did, right, is they went through the entire design. They went through, fabrication. They went through testing. They would go all of this, right? They're modeling this. And 2023 is sort of best case scenario. If everything goes right, then 2023 MZ will and his guests will go and fly around the moon. Yeah. So, but if anything deviates from that perfect path, then that timeline is going to be stretched out, right? And I mean, it could be stretched out minutes, it could be hours, days, months, years.
Launch dates are always not earlier than or
Yep.
NET.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, I definitely am going to watch this at least one more time because there was a lot of information there. There was just tons and tons and tons, and I really like the fact that that they didn't have any kind of MC, right? It was just Elon, um, and it sort of sounded like he had a rough outline, but nothing scripted, right? I mean, he was sort of just you know doing the improv, right? Just saying what comes to mind, right? Guided by the slides, which is extremely common. So, but yeah, I think that was really really cool. It was sort of small too, right? I mean, it was in what looked like one of the factories there, and it was just like this little tiny area. Everybody was packed in, shoulder to shoulder, right? It's like, you know, so that was a little strange. That it was so small. The backdrop I thought was very very cool, right? Those big engines, right? I thought that was very very cool, and then a rocket right next to them too. So it's just like very cool. All right, all right. Well, as I said, I think I'm going to cut this one short because I've been down for 2 hours and 11 minutes, and I definitely need to get up. Get up. So, okay, tomorrow, friends, we'll be back here, hopefully on time. I forgot about this SpaceX thing until after the live stream yesterday, and it's like, yeah. So yeah, I should have been a little bit more aware. I could have warned you earlier, but that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Okay, everybody, I will see you tomorrow, as I said, at the usual time, 2 hours UTC, and the usual place right here. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you so desire, or the thumbs down. Make some comments. Hey, I posted a video showing the proper motion of the stars in the region of Messier 37 as they would appear to move over a time period of 200,000 years. So you can definitely see that there are certain stars that are all moving together, right? And then there's other stars that are just going all over the place, right? And what I noticed is that the cluster itself seems to be slightly rotating too. It's kind of interesting, So all right, I will let you all go, and I will see you on the spin a little less than 23 hours from now. All right, very cool. I will see you all later. Bye.